Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, for a full Barca World Cup news roundup, because there has been plenty of talk in the media over the past 24 hours after Poland versus Argentina about the exchanges between Lionel Messi and Robert Lewandowski. And in today's video, we're going to be looking a little bit further into what went on there and exactly what was said. We're going to have a full roundup, though, on everything that's been happening. Several groups in the World Cup now, of course, have been decided, and we're going to be keeping a very close eye on our Barca players and all of the big moments. It's coming up for you. Sit back and relax. You know the drill. And let's get to it. Because if we do indeed kick off with Uruguay and the situation surrounding Ronald Araujo, as we continue here to monitor this with very, very close attention, because Araujo, of course, missed their first group stage match there against South Korea. That was a 0-0 draw for Uruguay. And then Araujo also missed Uruguay's latest game, a defeat to Portugal on Monday night. So already there, that is 2 out of the 3 group stage matches that we were all expecting Araujo to miss at the World Cup. But given now that Uruguay have only taken 1 point from those opening 2 games, they're currently bottom of Group H. They haven't even scored a goal at this World Cup, and suddenly now there's huge emphasis on their final group game on Friday, and that comes against Ghana. And Uruguay know now that only a win would see them progress to the knockout stages, and especially when you add to that the motivation on Ghana's side, of course. They are looking to avenge their infamous meeting with Uruguay at the 2010 World Cup, and this has become a massive, massive game. And again, you all know where I'm going with this, guys. But I am just hoping, hoping that no matter what the situation, no matter what the game, the context, all of that stuff, Araujo cannot be risked. Because just a few days ago now, Joan Laporta openly admitted there, we are concerned about Araujo and his situation. He said in order to avoid a relapse, we do not want the player to be forced back to action. He said the player and Uruguay accepted that there when travelling to the World Cup. He said we have 2 members of our medical team with Uruguay. He's training. We hope they are prudent with him and that the player's health prevails. If there is a minimum risk, he should not play. And Laporta says there that Araujo is fully aware of the situation. And I thought the final quotes here very, very interesting, because Laporta openly said, I know that Araujo will behave like a professional. He won't play against Ghana, and it'll be difficult for him to play at the World Cup. And I just wonder there, is that spoken as a fact from Laporta, having spoken there with Uruguay, having spoken maybe with Araujo himself? Does he know that Araujo won't play against Ghana? Or is that there an added layer of pressure to make the right decision there, to put the emphasis on Araujo's health and recovery? Only time is going to tell us as to whether Araujo will play on Friday. Also, though, of course, on the Barca front, we have to talk about the Netherlands there, who recorded a 2-0 victory against Qatar when Memphis Depay returned to the starting lineup for the first time since his injury. Memphis played 66 minutes in total, and our very own Frenkie de Jong was on the score sheet there for the Netherlands, converting from close range, and it was another goal from Cody Gakpo. 3 in 3 for him in the group stage, and the Netherlands now progressing nice and comfortably at the top of Group A. The host Qatar there finishing bottom without a single point to their name. And in the decisive game in that group there between Ecuador and Senegal, Senegal came out on top there. It was a goal from Kalidou Koulibaly to send them to the round of 16 stage. And especially after losing Sadio Mane, the leader that he is, the quality that he possesses in their team, it's a massive, massive win for them to see them go through. And they will now face England in the next round, which then brings us on to the Group B action. And it was a massive moment in this game, again for our own Sergiño Dest, because I thought he had probably his best game of the World Cup. I think he's been very impressive, very promising throughout so far, but he put in there a fantastic assist for Christian Pulisic to get the defining goal for the USA, and that's all they needed. They knew that in this game they had to beat Iran, and I thought they actually had the lead for such a long time, and by only a single goal, with Iran putting the pressure on, it wasn't easy for them, especially with the young team that they have. But they came through it. They handled the moment. They handled the pressure of that situation, and they really delivered to send themselves through there as runners-up in Group B. And what that means now is that America will be facing off in the round of 16 against the Netherlands. And that is going to be a really exciting game, I feel. One of those that you're looking at and thinking, okay, that's going to be a good clash. And especially for Dest as well. It's a special game coming up against a nation that is very close to his heart, where he has spent so much of his life. And of course, coming up as well against some of the teammates that he knows so well. And moving on then to talk about France now, who did heavily rotate against Tunisia. There was no Jules Koundé at all in this game. He got a full rest there. Ousmane Dembele only came on for the final 10 minutes of the game, with Mbappe and Griezmann as well coming off the bench for Deschamps. And it was Khazri for Tunisia who looked to have scored the winning goal until Antoine Griezmann equalised. And this game was truly extraordinary, guys, because at that point it looked as though the match was a draw. A last-minute goal, kick-off was even taken then after the goal. The referee appeared to end the game, and then VAR said, do you want to come and have a look? Do you want to come and see if that goal actually should stand? And in the end, it was ruled out. It was truly one of the strangest endings to a game that I have ever seen. But I'm sure Tunisia were not complaining. Even if they didn't quite make it through in the end, it was still a special moment to get themselves a World Cup win and to beat the current world champions. Because elsewhere in Group D, what a game it was for Australia, because this here was a decisive game to decide second place in Group C. Denmark knew full well only a win would be enough to see them progress to the knockout stages, and unfortunately for them, they couldn't get it. They couldn't find, again, the performance that they were looking for. And this was a team that coming into the tournament, they were expected to go far. They were expected to be the dark horses, to upset a few people, some of the big nations along the way, and to be knocked out early here. Just 1 point from 3 games and finishing bottom of the group. It's a massive disappointment for Denmark. Although I do have to say, Christensen, I think he can hold his head up high. I don't think it was defensively at all where Denmark fell down in this tournament. They only conceded 2 goals in the group. And I think Christensen, every game that he played at a high level. He was quality in their defence, and I'm really excited to see him now back at Barca, of course, in the new year. But what a game, and what a day it was for Australia. A really tough group to come through, especially having France there in their opening game. It was never going to be easy. But what a battle from the Australians. And I know as well, we've got a few Aussies here on the channel. I'm sure you guys absolutely enjoyed that yesterday, and very, very well done to you. You've got a nice game as well in the round of 16 stage, because after Argentina overcame Poland last night in a game that we reviewed here on the channel, it was a much more confident display from Argentina. They felt a lot more in control in this one, and they did indeed top Group C in the end, with Mexico missing out just so close, and agonising for them to miss out in the way that they did. But that means now that Argentina will face off against Australia in the round of 16 stage, and our very own Robert Lewandowski making his way through as well on goal difference. It was actually his goal against Saudi Arabia, the second one there, that turned out to be the decisive goal for them. They are going to be playing the world champion France in the round of 16. But in the final moments of the Poland versus Argentina game last night, there was a moment, wasn't there, guys, where Lewandowski was trying to win the ball back. He was having to do a lot of defending in this game. He was trying to win it back from Messi. He fouled him in the process, and then there appeared to be a moment where Lewandowski held his arm out. He was trying there to sort of attract Messi's attention, to get a handshake out of him, but Messi didn't really seem to acknowledge him there, just looking straight on, not looking at Lewandowski, not really getting involved in any of that, and there was no handshake between the two of them. And I think watching that, guys, all of us here were like, you know what? No, please no. We don't want any conflict. We don't want any animosity between these two players. But I do just want to say it's a crucial World Cup game. You know, you're in the zone. You're in the moment there, just seeing out this match that was so important for all of these players. We don't know what goes through their head in these split-second moments. And sure enough then, just a few minutes after that moment there, after the final whistle had gone, the game was over. Messi then even made a point to seek out Lewandowski, the two of them coming together, and you can see here, there was a nice moment between them. Something was whispered into Lewandowski's ear from Messi, and Robert didn't actually seem to catch what was being said. He had to ask Messi, what did he say? Can you repeat that? I didn't quite hear it. Messi then repeated whatever it was, and Lewandowski responds. Messi nods, there's smiles between the two of them, and it was a much, much nicer embrace there between the two captains of their nations, and nice to see that respect there. Messi said after the game, when he was asked about what it was that he said to Lewandowski, he wouldn't reveal it though. He said, I was taught that everything that happens on the pitch stays on the pitch as well as in the locker room. So he said, things that we say to each other in private, they will never come out of me. But Lewandowski said after the game, I had to defend a lot today. I did a lot of defending, and against Messi as well. But he said Messi played a brilliant game. He was so good. And when the match was over, I immediately went over to congratulate him. The two are on good terms. They're absolutely fine. Don't be fooled into whatever the media will try and spin from that little moment there with the handshake. And I thought it was funny as well from Szczęsny, the Polish goalkeeper, of course, because he may have saved Messi's penalty last night, and a brilliant save that it was to his left-hand side, but he admitted after the game that before that penalty had been awarded, he actually bet Messi €100 that the ref wouldn't give it, that the ref would not award the penalty. But the problem for Szczęsny was, well, he did. So now he owes Messi €100, but Szczęsny says he's not going to pay him because, in his words, Messi doesn't need the money. So that there is everything from Poland against Argentina, and I think we can all agree that this sign right here, well, that's backfired, because this was held up just ahead of Saudi Arabia versus Poland in the group stage, and well, as it turns out, we will be seeing both Lionel Messi and Lewandowski in the round of 16 stage. Simply lovely. So that there, guys, is a full roundup for you today. Probably will be doing these a little bit more frequently now as we get to the end of the group stage. And of course, there's lots to look forward to then in the knockouts when we're looking at these potential matchups. There's plenty of games as well coming today. I'll be talking about them in the very near future, of course. If your country is in action, I wish you the best of luck. And if you're still in the tournament, let me know down below. How are you feeling about your World Cup chances? I will see you soon, of course, with lots more videos to come. Thank you indeed for tuning in and for all of your support. I will see you soon. But until next time, as always, Vishka El Barca.